What up, everybody? It's your boy, Pyro Slays Music. And today, we're checking out Pulley, Esteem driven engine. This is a Discord vote choice. I've been asking about here on YouTube and keeping track of albums that people are wanting me to check out. I compile them all into a list as I see them, and then I'm throwing them in the Discord for people to vote on. We probably won't do this as much in December as I'm going to be doing a lot of family stuff. But starting in January, I'll probably kick this back in because it was really nice. So our Discord community kind of is deciding the route we're taking based off of the request you guys are dropping in the comments on YouTube. Pulley was one of the suggestions for a deep dive. And while I don't know if I'm going to do a full deep dive on this band, I'm definitely starting at the beginning. Eventually we'll get around to everything and, see how that goes. But yeah, so make sure you get in the Discord and vote for the albums you want, because the ones with no votes, it shows no representation. It means it gets removed from the community list. One of the biggest issues we had when we first started this channel and we did community-based reactions is we would have somebody pop in, give a really obscure band or title, and never come back. And the video would just sit out there for months with no likes, no views. Got sick of that shit. So we're utilizing the YouTube request still, but we're letting our Discord really pick through and get to the nitty gritty of what they think the community wants to see. So we're starting with Pulley, a Steam driven engine. And as you can see, it's not Halloween. It's closer to Christmas. It is freezing out here. They say go out, go to different cultures, you know what I mean? Get, and be cultured. And I did that back in 2015 for our honeymoon. We went to the Bahamas. I saw island life. I adapted to it. Unfortunately, it doesn't work up here in the north. It took me a little while to get around to insulating the building and getting a furnace. And I didn't cut wood either. So it is, we're pushing 50. 50? Was it 50 back there? 49 degrees out here. It's cold. She's out here watching Minecraft videos. Shout out to Frey, my daughter, and I'm jamming tunes. So pretty stoked. Just a little chilly. As you can see, I'm repping my Broncos underneath. Who cares? I'm warm and snuggly. Let's get into this. Cashed in. Again, shout out to our Discord.
Sun go down. I played my share, losing yet you still wanna put me down. I started on the bottom, so tell me why am I here again? It was at my expense.
Alrighty. So, first off, things I did not like about the song, that talking in the middle that you couldn't even understand what they were saying, that honestly sucked. Everything about this else about the song was really nice and easy going. You had some decent speed. The vocals were not bad. Let me go through here. I don't normally do deep dive on the lyrics as we're jamming stuff, but I'm just kind of curious here. For what it's worth, I've walked miles and I've seen the sun go down. I've played my share of dues, and yet you still want to put me down. I started on the bottom, so tell me why am I here again? It was at my expense. Now you're cashing in. Make way for the boys in your town today. Dig in your pockets, and they got a lot to say. Look up on the wall. I'll have some shirts for sale. Another week has passed. Can you keep up with the brand new scene? The music's changing with constant tapping of my feet. Play it faster, play it slower. You still don't know. The music's not so important to you. It's what you're making off the show. So to me, what I'm getting from this, it's the people, probably at venues maybe. We're looking at venues, maybe bookers. And they're not really caring about the band. They're caring about the money that comes in from the band, which is actually why I don't think I could ever own a venue, because I would just get bands that interest me and nobody else would care in my local area, and I'd be bankrupt in a month. But, there's a balance to that, right? You know what I mean? And so from my understanding here, it's more about the venues not caring at all about music and strictly caring about the business aspect. That's what I'm getting from that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, we've checked out Pulley before. This is not my first dive into Pulley. We've had several songs. Second Best, Working Class Whore, which is personally one of my favorites. Ghost Inside My Skin was really good. Syndrome. We've reacted to a few bangers for sure. And there might be some other ones I'm just not thinking of. Those are the ones that are in my liked playlist. So this song is an opener, not bad, but I'm not going to lie that was a little irritating with the talking in the middle that you could just barely hear the muffle of. And I was like, okay, what's the point of this? But again, this is their first album. So, I'm kind of expecting we just did Hot Water Music's album, and, you just get it done, right? You just get it done. It's all about getting it out there to the world. So, but I kind of pretty sure, you guys can correct me in the comments, I think this is kind of a super group. I don't know if it was right off the rip. Let's pull up real quick and get sidetracked. Guys, if you haven't supported Pulley, make sure you get your ass out there and do that. Let's see here. For a band known, lead singer, songwriter, guitarist, Dennis Jaggert. Oh, this is just kind of promoting everybody. Okay. We'll look into that a little bit later, but that's fine. Oh, Jesus. I'm looking at how the hell it pulled up 10-foot pole. What the hell? No wonder I was so confused. I was like, huh? Scott Radinsky's departure from 10-foot pole. That's why it brought it up. Okay. Brought about by the band's desire for a singer with a full-time focus on music. Radinsky, I'm going to go Radinsky, is also a major league relief pitcher and has played for the LA Dodgers, among others. Pulley's initial lineup included drummer Jordan Burns, also from 10-foot pole, who was in pre-10-foot pole band Scared Straight with Radinsky, and also gigs with Strung Out guitarist Jim Cherry, formerly R.I.P., formerly the bassist of Strung Out. Dude, I love Jim Cherry. Shout out to our boy Timmy for introducing us to a lot of his music. Zero Down is fantastic. You should definitely go check that out if you haven't. That's an album I need to go check out. Guitarist Mike Harder, who served a brief stint in Sacred Straight, and bassist Matt Riddle, formerly of Face to Face. Okay. I see you. We're not going to go through that whole thing, but yeah, I'm getting a picture here. So we do kind of have a punk all-star group here. So maybe I should be a little harsher. These guys are all-stars. Let's jump into Crawl, guys. Too cold for me to be tangenting. liked the melody a lot for this one. Actually, I think I might have liked it a little better than Cash Gen. However, I mean, that could be a little bit generic. I did feel like I had a little bit of a Lagwagon-esque vibe going on there. Obviously, you don't have Joey's vocals there, but I liked what I was hearing here for sure. Yeah, definitely playlist, which is hilarious because that's like one of the lower played ones on the album, looks like. Count on me to always pick the weird ones. Eyes open wide. This is another one I greatly enjoyed. Just a very, very nice ride. And I gotta say, I like the production and mixing on this a lot. It's not too polished. It's not too gritty. I love it. And if you're right now in the process, you're getting those little angry fingers typing. It's not punk to talk about production and mixing. It's also not punk to tell me how to enjoy my music. So shut it. There we go. I think the production is good on this. Punk or not. It's enjoyable. I was actually really impressed with, not related, but how Hot Water Music, they were actually utilizing different sides. Like you had the guitar on one side and the drums in the other, and I was like really impressed with that. I love when bands do that. It just shows that you're putting a little care into your craft, if you ask me. But I also do understand the, by all means necessary, get it recorded. That is punk for sure. But it is definitely not punk to tell me how to enjoy my music. So mind your beeswax, okay? And let's go to the walk-in. This reminds me of a time me and Chuck, my uncle, and my brother, we all went down to Kentucky. And it was legitly, we called it a fishing trip. We didn't do any fishing. We did a lot of boating and drinking. And there was a Chinese buffet we went to, and Chuck was mad because he got his steak, it was like medium rare or something like that at a buffet, and he was like telling them that he wanted. It was the wildest thing. He's like trying to send back a steak at a buffet. What are you doing? Shut up and eat it, dude. Oh my God. We didn't come here for like high quality food. We came here for the portions. I love me a Chinese buffet though. I'm assuming a walk-in. That's what we're talking. We'll find out. We will find out. I don't think this is talking about an Asian buffet, guys. I think wok might mean something different. If maybe you guys can explain this one to me, because I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, from the sound and then the name of the title, I was kind of expecting more. Like if it was singing about a Chinese buffet, I'm expecting The Descendants, Anchor Grill, but about a Chinese restaurant. Okay, that's what I was expecting here. Clearly, I'm wrong. Damn it. Unless that's the place he's taking him. But it was so vague. Lyrically, so vague. I hate the song because of the vagueness. I hate it. No, I'm just feeling sassy today. I actually really enjoyed that. It's going on a playlist for sure. Just a little confused about the lyrical content is all. But yeah, super vague. Four Walls. This better be singing about a bedroom. I'm going to be pissed.
Silence is disturbing, it reminds me I'm alone. me all alone.
All right. A little bit of a sadder tune here. A little bit of a sadder tune. Weirdly, though, and I'm not saying this in like a sense that's like they copied or something, but I kind of oddly got like first album Weezer vibes, or maybe like some Bracket at times with some like the weird kind of, I don't know. Maybe not. Just very, very lightly, of course, nothing crazy. I enjoyed this. Definitely, I can connect lyrically pretty decently. I mean, yeah. I definitely get the, like where he's talking about like all, like you want to do something, but all your friends work all. It's like when I first started this, like went full time, I left my factory job that I had been at for 12 years, just to kind of try something in the middle, right? In the first year and a half, my entire friend group basically, Chuck showed up. Out of nobody else. And then every time I talk to the other people, they're like, oh, we really need to plan something. But I'm like, I have had an open invite for you to come hang out, make content. And they're into making content. That's the worst part. And just have some fun while I'm in between. And it never really happened. Like, I think I've had my brother on once. But reaching out to these people that everybody's like, oh, no, I'm too busy, or they just kind of forget, and then they hit you back up with they try to act like it's a mutual thing, you know what I mean, where they're like, oh, yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm like, just let me know. I can work around whatever, and then that kind of just sends you into this spiraling depression. Definitely something I dealt with really heavily last year, and didn't handle it real well either. You could ask my Discord community, I'm sure, but yeah, just on top of that feeling, and then I had 2 family members I lost, and just life keeps on punching down. You know what I mean? It's just punching down. So stupid, but good ass song. I like this a lot. It's gonna go to playlist. One Shot is next. We're gonna keep it going.
This is it. My one shot at the big time. I better make it count. Stand up and be heard. 'Cause I know the radio plays this song. All the kids will buy it. Hate me up and down. And I wanna be cool anymore. I've been doing this for the last 12 years. Through all the times when no one cared. Everybody wants a piece of me. Sign on a dotted line. Make what says is mine. It'll make you rich, you'll see. And there's a million more just like me. And I don't know what's cool anymore. Who am I to say? If you can't make that decision on your own, then you're pretty fucking dumb anyway. No motivation, instantaneous gratification, remote controls and MTV. In a generation that's hypnotized, lulled by repetitious lies, spoon-fed all their corporate programming. And I'm not a one-hit wonder, looking to get rich. I'm not trying to sell out my songs. I was here before they exploited our scene. I'll be here when they're dead and fucking hard. What's cool anymore? And I don't care what's cool anymore. I don't know what's cool anymore. And I don't think that I ever
care. Okay, first off, those crunchy ass guitars, I like those a lot. One Shot. Okay. Yeah, I like this one. I like this one a lot. And this is where I start to see a little growth in myself, is when I'm reading lyrics like these. This generation, no motivation, instantaneous gratification, remote controls, and MTV. This was written in 96. And a generation that's hypnotized, lulled by repetitious lies, spoon-fed all their corporate programming. And I'm not a one-hit wonder looking to get rich. So that whole part right there, that's something I would have easily dismissed when I was younger. It's like, okay, yeah, okay, Grandpa. Like we got TikTok now, and you really see this. But then, if you really think about it, like what I'm saying is, it's worse now. I would say, like it started there, and it's really you just start realizing humans and convenience. That's where we're going with technology, and it's very easy to dismiss something like this. You think that was bad, this is bad, but you really think about it, and how many people are just programmed. Like I know plenty of people that sit in front of Fox News and just eat that shit up, and you're like, what are you doing? What are you guys doing? And then you see it, but it's really easy to dismiss that in afterthought, but it definitely started back then. You know what I mean? And another one that's kind of like wild, that's sort of related to this, is video games. I heard a lot of complaints. I know like the government had basically invested in one of those shooter video games, and at the time I remember people telling me that, and I was like, who fucking cares? Like, who cares? It's not really going to affect anything. You know what I mean? Nobody is going to leave their couch and go sign up for that crap out there. But if you're looking at it from warfare now, this isn't the Civil War. You ain't lining up. You're hitting buttons on a computer screen and drones. You know what I mean? Like, it's very, like, they're ahead of the curve. They know what's going on. Hey, if you're willing to sit at home on your couch and take out people on the internet for fun, you could do it for real, just hitting buttons too. It's not that big of a deal. It's not really hard. Just hit a button, you know? And you just kind of like, But as time goes on, you know, you realize the government's a little bit ahead of you on that thing. And yeah. But here's the growth. It's also kind of funny because, like, I've seen, like, my dad said, we were talking about algorithms, and he's like, man, it's just, as a young person, you know, like, feel like you get into that and you're going to get all warped from it. But I feel like growing up, you kind of realize, at least for me, I think that is also what's happening in your local area when you're born. Like, you're in a cultural bubble. Everybody around you thinks the same exact way, and your mind is warped to that bubble. So I think there is a certain, you know, for like kids going onto like social media or something, terrible for them, absolutely terrible, and I'm very much against that. But I do think that we're warped by our experiences, and I don't know if warped is exactly the right word for it. Sometimes it is, but you know, most of us learn from those experiences and correct ourselves as we go on. I don't know where I was going with that, but this song's really good and it made me chatty. So I like those chunky guitars. Those chunky guitars are pretty cool. Let's jump on to Barf. This one just sounds like an exciting song.
Someone always comes and wants to make it worse. I'll never make the cover of a Rolling Stone, but at least I know my life's my own. On my back porch, what will it mean? On miners tell me what they
We got to rewind that. What the hell?
The man he lived in The man he lived in Arcade.
What the hell was that? That was ridiculous. This song was okay. This one I also felt had a little bit of a lagwagon kick to it, especially when it picked up and went. This was gonna be a miss for me, but that was a weird sound to have in there. That's funny. Let's go ahead and hit these. That was the first leg of the album. So so far, rather nice. I think we're in for a good album. Hopefully, we'll see how this. It does have a lot of songs, 35 minutes, so it's not too bloated on album count, but that is quite a few songs. We'll see how I feel towards the end here, but as of right now, I'm feeling like this is definitely in the good range for sure. She. I like this one. Nothing real like out of like blowing me away. It's like super special about it, but definitely an enjoyable listen. Let's keep it going to Lifer. Oof. If I don't do a better job at reacting, I will be a lifer at a factory. So I better get my shit together, guys. No one wants to be a lifer.
thin line. I tread the 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 thin line.
Okay, I really, really enjoyed that, and the plays on this song just do not match like the bigger songs, like at all. Like this one was awesome. I like the change ups. I really like that guitar tone too, like this one right here. That acoustic it kind of gives me that, you know, you guys are going to give me crap for this, but kind of a post-grunge, but like the 90s. I don't know if it's actually considered post-grunge, but like your Gin Blossoms, like that kind of style. That's what it reminds me of. And I know a lot of people don't like that, but that's what I grew up with. I grew up with legitly 80s hair bands and then transferred into like listening to like Gin Blossoms and Collective Soul and your Matchbox 20, your Delamitri, your Vertical Horizon, your holy God, Let's Talk About God. Who sings that? Me and my dad were just talking about them the other day. That kind of style. I grew up from that, went from the hair bands to that, and then to like bling hip hop, and then I've been metalcore pretty much the rest of the time, and up until we started reacting, and then I've just been all the different genres. It's so awesome. But this is really, really nice. I like this a lot. It's definitely going to go on a playlist. It's a banger. No Defense. Another enjoyable track for sure. I don't like. Why am I feeling better? Like, I think Sheev from No Defense so far has been really solid. These last three, I'm really digging since Barf. I don't know if Barf was just that big of a disappointment. I mean, it's Barf. You know, like, how excited can you be? So, real quick question before we move on. No Defense. Was there another singer in here, or was there just the lead singer kind of singing in a different cadence and stuff? It's one thing that also drives me nuts a little bit about early punk is the lack of features. Like, if you're going to collab with somebody, tell us who you're collabing with, man. We want to know. It's all freaking secretive. You got to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody who's in the damn song. I'll quit old manning. Let's keep it going. Silver Tongue Devil. Ooh, we have a song about Chuck. Okay, another solid track. This one kind of also doesn't have a whole lot of details of what's going on here, but dude's talking to somebody who watched his friend die, but didn't say how he died. But now he's going off to a lonely spot in the desert where he's never been. And I can only assume that, listen, I watched Breaking Bad, at least half of it. I never finished it. It stressed me out so much. I made it to the Fly episode, and I couldn't hack it anymore. It was giving me anxiety heavily. It was a good show, though, nonetheless. And I've seen a lot of that. And let me tell you, it's never good when they're in the middle of the desert. Either they're cooking something up or somebody's dying in the middle of the desert. So that's what I think is going on there. It really makes me wonder what Chuck's up to in his free time. You know what I mean? Gee, many crickets. SFBIHYD. Don't know what it means, but we're checking it out.
My memories of you in a drawer. The letters you wrote me have several things I can't bear to look anymore. I guess your life is better now. You finally executed a menu friend I made. I guess you're not feeling you without. Do you ever remember me and all those things you tried to do? The times I held you late at night with all I had to you. It's a memory. 4 years and counting, and that's all I am. It's just wasted time gone by. inside. These moments grasp me and it won't let me go, and I got nowhere to hide. I was 22 years old alone, and I didn't have many friends. You've taken everything from me. I'm not afraid of being alone inside this world, 'cause I know when they turn, God's gonna come. Marching about to the silent in my sleep. Dreams and moments we have shared are painful things to keep. Time is a healer, and I guess in time we'll see. When you realize what you had, I'll be a memory.
I dug this one as well. I want to kind of go back to the beginning here for real quick. Just I want to hear something. Yeah. I kind of thought it was funny. Initially, I was like, man, whoever that guitar player is, they're drunk as hell right now. And then they kind of fixed it up a little bit halfway through. Personally, I thought it had a little flavor to the mix. See, that's your punk rock right there. It can be messy. It doesn't need to be perfect. That is punk rock, guys. And that does go for production as well. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if you dig something about it, hell yeah. I dug the sloppy-ass guitar in this, for sure. I did find the vocalist kind of reminded me of Greg Graffin on Entry initially, and then that really dissipated very quickly on this song. Let's keep it going. Seeing different. Going to different seas, guys.
Stronger inside you, the warmer the calendar boiled. Time just ticked away for you. Now you're on your own. Another day gone by. I see it in your eyes. Trying so hard just to please. Did you stop to think? We're seeing things different in time. We'll soon tell where the apples are ripe in the bottle. It's empty, the barrel is dry. Money standing in our way. Where can we turn now? I walked out on my way. Knowing things won't change. What you're doing's not okay. It won't come again. What I'm doing is different. See it different. It's like I fool myself. See it different. What you're doing and how it's moving. See it different. See it different.
Okay. I really, really enjoyed this one. You gotta love something that just pops at the end of the album. Just keeps things fun. Now, this one also had like that bass kind of solo that they were doing there for a second. That was really cool, honestly. I like that a lot. This is definitely going to go on a playlist. And we have the last track. Let's talk about the album after this. But before we hit this last track, guys, if you're a fan of Pulley and you enjoyed this, if you're new to the band, go over follow them on their socials if they have any. Try to catch them live if possible. Merch, show this to your friends musically. That's the band doesn't get anything from you listening to this, or myself listening to this. So please, if you're a fan of this, go over and make sure they know. You know what I mean? As for me, if you want to help support me, you can just be very simple. Share the video, hit that like, hit subscribe. That's it. That's it, guys. All right, let's hit this last song and talk about the album as a whole. Kind of a mid outro track, to be honest. But there were parts of it I really enjoyed, but also kind of some of the melody here actually reminded me of songs that I've already heard from Pulley a little bit. Kind of the rhythm to some of this was it Working Class or is it Second? It's been a while, but it kind of reminded me of some other Pulley songs that I have heard. That's fine. Let's go ahead and dive into the album as a whole. So first thing is first, I'm going to put this whole album in my sort list. I'm probably going to give it a few more listens because I kind of really want to delve into some of there was some solid lyricism here and there, but this is really has some vague writing at times, and which is a little frustrating to somebody like me who I don't mind the silly side of punk, obviously, but I do like a little bit of depth to my lyricism. I don't really care if the instrumentals are sloppy or anything like that. Foley, I guess, but lyricism I want to be a little bit on point, and it was a little vague here. So I'm gonna give it a couple more spins and see if that kind of grows on me, if I have a little bit of a understanding. I will say this sounds like your typical punk rock. There's not a whole lot of differential. If you enjoy the sound, you enjoy the sound, I guess. But I do think it might lose a few points for me just because it kind of blends in with a lot of punk I've heard. That being said, I would not hesitate to come back to this, even if it is a little generic. I don't think that's like a deal breaker fully. It's if it's really bad, you know what I mean? Like Sleep Token's new album, like that where you're just taking like little slivers of like 30 genres and putting it together like you're a man-made AI. That's not for me. That's not for me. I personally like punk rock, so I'm a little bit easier on it than a lot of music reviewers and stuff. I also can't play an instrument, so to me that's not at all important. You know what I mean? Like if it's sloppy, that's fine. That's the fun of punk. You're getting started a lot of times, and it doesn't need to be perfect. Regardless, with that all being said, I really enjoyed the vocals here. Just kind of a weird, comforting feel from those vocals. The bass, when it popped out at times, was really nice. I had no complaints about the drums at all. That was pretty straightforward. The guitars were solid. I really liked actually when they had messier sounding guitars, kind of just like doing their thing in the background. I enjoyed that more. But I think the melody and stuff here, there's enough solid stuff that it's something I'll return to as well. So that's really, in my opinion, where you know if you like or dislike an album, if you're going to return to it. If it's a mid album, you're not going to return to a mid album most likely, unless you forget in like 5 years later. You're like, I remember listening to that once, and I don't know, and you go back to it, and you're like, oh, that's right, that's why I stayed away from this. But for me, it's definitely something I'll come back to. I think there's several songs on here that will end up in a heavy rotation for me. But as a whole, definitely has its weaker spots, specifically kind of the middle there with Barf, the outro with All We Have. There's not a whole lot of songs that just really pop and like blow you out of the water, kind of like some of their later stuff does. Like, for example, your Working Class Horror, your Second Best, and some of the other ones we heard, Syndrome and whatnot. But I definitely think this is in a good realm. Rating wise, I'm going to go with I think it's slightly over. I think it's like high sixes for me. I'm gonna go like a 6.6. I guess that's kind of closer to mid, but that's a little over. And I think with a couple more listens, it'll go up a few more knocks for sure. So I definitely think it's a good record. I don't really have a whole lot of complaints, other than it is what it is. But yeah, shout out to Pulley. I'm excited. We'll see if the community votes in some more as they pop into the Discord. 60 Cycle Hum. I've not heard a whole lot of good. I've heard very mixed things about this one, actually. I've heard it's very rushed, dropping a year after, comparatively to their 99 album, but with a bad word on it. I can't tell you what it is because it's a secret. Anywho, I'm Pyro Slays Music. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts are of the album. Where would you personally rate that? Because, again, this is just my opinion. I'm not someone who thinks that, like, my opinion is better than your opinion. I want to hear what your opinion is and see the differential. But also, we all have our own individual thoughts on stuff. So that's what's cool. And I'd like to see that reflected in the comments. It's your boy Pyro. And until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful holidays, and